in English. So thank you, Martin, for coming. So we're here on this webinar with Nikolai, the CEO of Yoffix. My name is Maren. I have joined recently Yoffix as a customer success manager to help develop the French market. So Yoffix is a great European startup with a team in different countries. I myself now, I am in Mexico. That's why you may hear some bird noise in the background. I'm sorry for that. And so what Yoffix does, it helps make hybrid works easier for the company and its employees. So it's a nice experience for both of them. So Yoffix is already in Germany and the German part of Switzerland, and we are now going for the French market. That's why we have this webinar, and also for the market, so in France and in Canada. So this webinar is a great opportunity to learn more about our platform, what we do. And as I said, as Nicola is here, it's the perfect opportunity to ask all your questions directly to the CEO. If you have any question, don't hesitate to take the mic or drop a question in the chat. So as I said, Yoffix is a platform that helps companies in their hybrid work format to make it easier for them and for the employees. And as we've seen in the last year, hybrid work is a real topic for companies for different reasons, and we'll see why. And I think that's it, Nikolai. Do you want to add something?
Yeah, maybe we could just you could go to the next page because well, before we start, and since again since it's quite a small round today, maybe the question would be, Martin, in your particular situation, well, what are the major challenges related to hybrid work? How do you see them? So we could also orient a bit of our discussion as well, like in very small groups. So do you see it's more about optimization of space or about like people, how to bring them back to the office? Because indeed, hybrid work is very different in different situations. That's what we've learned, right? And there are a number of players for whom it's rather about, well, how to optimize space and downsize your office. And for some other companies is, hey, we want to have people back in the office, full stop. So it's indeed very different from company to company. And maybe you could just drop a message which one is more interesting for you. Because indeed, hybrid work, different companies think very differently about it and have different views on what is important. But we want to share today, indeed, our experience, how we see the challenges, but also opportunities, and how you could use our tool to manage everything in one application, one app. Okay, let's Meryl, let's go with the next slide. And what we want to, that's maybe just a brief summary again about Yoffix. We've been already named as the best or one of the best solutions for hybrid work. We're extremely strong with Microsoft in Microsoft environment. And actually, we work already like in more than 10 countries, working with companies from 100 to several thousand employees, getting extremely really great reviews on Capterra. So it seems that we're doing a lot of things right. So let's move ahead, right? And yeah, as Beryl already outlined, so there are a lot of positive things about hybrid work, and actually the clue is, well, all employees love hybrid work. We like working from home. I have my office day today. Meryl is also in Mexico, combining, well, working and not working location. So it is extremely good for work-life balance. But there are also a number of pitfalls. And I think there are some of them which a lot of companies first oversaw as they started to work in this hybrid setup, but now it becomes more and more obvious. And it's not all about, well, how to optimize office space. Also, that is also very important because, well, companies, well, office rent is huge chunk of cost, and how to optimize it, how to make sure that you don't really throw money out of the window for this office that you don't use is important. But it's really also about how to organize people and how to make sure that teamwork is not suffering. Because what often happens, well, if people are working 3-4 days a week from home, they're not meeting each other. And so how to make sure that your team collaboration is still in place, that social contacts are also in place, that people don't lose social ties to the company. Because at the end of the day, if people work only from home, the bonds to the company can deteriorate. So it's a question of balance. There's positive things that hybrid work is bringing, and also managing this risk. Right, and that's actually a nice example of what people really want, right? So it's not from us, it's from Fraunhofer. They're doing a lot of research on that topic in Germany and in Europe. And all this research in US, in North America, they show the same picture. People do want to work 2 or 3 days a week from home, and that's a typical setup that we hear.
Yes.
And right, and the thing is, well, what also people or many companies as now companies think how to return or organize return of employees to the office. There's also questions about, well, what is important for people to come back to the office? So why offices are still important, or how to make them attractive again? An interesting thing was, in 80% of all response, there was only one question that employees told. So what is for them the motivation to come back to the office? And it is opportunity to meet their colleagues, right? So that's a major reason why people commute to the office and think it's reasonable. So it's about meeting colleagues. It's about coming to the office, not working alone, socializing. And only after that, with really big distance, there is topics around, well, how comfortable is your office, or do you have some good lunch opportunities, etc. So, and that should pose the question, well, how to help people to meet colleagues? And that's why we as Yoffix, right, that's a nice slide. We as Yoffix, talking about hybrid work, for us, it's always about two things. It's about how to manage your places, so your desks, your rooms, your working zones, your parking slots, whatsoever. So everything what you have in your office. But actually, the most important part is how to manage your team, your organization, how to help your colleagues to meet each other, to organize their joint office days, and really to profit from from working together. Because really sad thing is, if someone is coming to the office, is commuting like half an hour, 40 minutes to the office, and then sitting alone there, and that's really disappointing. And that's where transparency is a buzzword, how to help people really to understand and to know who is coming when to the office. So that's 5 things that we identified as most important in this hybrid setup. And surely in some cases different, but we see that for many of our clients, and we work with hundreds of companies, it's really these 5 things that seems to make a difference how successful the hybrid setup is. And maybe just to start with, it's about, well, setting some rules, right? And it sounds very obvious, but actually a lot of companies don't do it, or they've done it 2 years ago during Corona times and they forgot about it. And then there's very different views of different employees. Well, what should we do? So setting up some clear rules, and maybe the rule is that we give you freedom, but that isn't the rule, or that we give you full flexibility. Or there is a setup saying, well, we want you to be back to the office following number of days a week. So all these topics you have to discuss in teams, and you have really to manage, well, to communicate them properly. And what we've learned, it's also not about the company in general, but it's about also some teams, because in many cases it's, well, different teams have different logic why they should be in the office. So your tech colleagues, maybe they can work from home all time, or just meet once a month for a barbecue. but you want maybe your marketing, your sales team really be more often in the office. So, but setting rules. Second thing is about transparency, right? Transparency about attendance. Who is coming when to the office? When should I go to the office to meet my colleagues? Where can I find a person in the office? So how easy it is to find someone in the office, right? And it's also about transparency within a team. And it's not only, so one thing is transparency about workplace. Another thing which is often neglected is transparency of working time, because also our time becomes more flexible working time. So giving transparency to people and making it very easy, both for team leads, but also for employees, for team members, really to, well, to coordinate their joint in office time. Another thing is what we've learned. Well, you had like desk booking tools already like 10, 20 years ago, probably, right? But they were not meant to be used daily or hourly. So the question is, well, how to make this whole booking experience of selecting, finding, checking in the office as seamless as possible. So really how to take our headache from people and give them a solution which is very convenient, intuitive, and ideally it's not a new tool, but ideally it's somehow integrated into your Slack channel or into your Microsoft Teams. So really it's about user experience so that people really use it, that they get reminders, that they don't get stressed with that they like it, right? Another thing is, well, it's always a question, and there was a lot of discussion we had also in Germany around people. Well, will be they ready to give up their personal desk? Because it's like my personal desk in the office, it's my space where I have a picture of, I don't know, my kids and my cup whatsoever. So will they be ready to give up this personal space? And the answer is yes. We see it in our projects. There's a lot of research on that. So people are actually ready to give up if they get really this freedom, this flexibility. And at the same time, it's important to give them also opportunity to select a desk which they really need. Because what happens often, well, people come to the office and we're so happy to work at home where nobody is disturbing you. Well, in case you don't have like three school kids. But you could really have your zone, your privacy. And there are a lot of employees who are, well, now getting used to it, and they say, well, it's too loud in the office. I want to have more quiet space, or I have a more comfortable desk at home. So giving them really the opportunity to select a space which fitting their needs is very important, right? So that they can really say, okay, that's the best place which I need. That is important. The next is, well, how really to optimize the whole setup, how really to learn from what you do, right? And that should I think about data. So really understanding how your office is used, understanding how much money could you save, understanding how your teams are working together, all that could and should be leveraged to optimize your hybrid setup. And that's exactly the point where we come in discussion with our clients saying, hey, we provide you data. There are clients who say, well, we'll still want to book our meeting rooms in Outlook. But in Outlook, you don't get any analytics. And that's why we say, yes, with Yoffix, even if you book it in Outlook, but if you have Yoffix connected to your Outlook, you will have all the analytics you need about your meeting rooms, for example. So that's surely we could speak about more topics around it, but these are 5 topics for giving really aligning some joint vision how you work in hybrid setup, creating transparency, providing UX, easy UX to book and manage and to use all these office facilities, providing also individual workplace experience to your employees, and leveraging data to optimize and really to find the right the optimum for your hybrid setup. That's what we think is crucial. And that's what we exactly what we do with Yoffix, right? So there are a lot of clients for whom Yoffix helps really to bring people together, to organize them, to make sure that people are meeting. There are a lot of clients of Yoffix who say, well, we're moving to a new office, right? And new office, we invested money, we want it to be really digital, modern, and that's why we want, well, to have everything up to date and where all resources are bookable. So really to making it digital office. And I would say any client of ours uses Yoffix also to optimize office use and office costs. So some of them, they say, okay, we want to downsize our space. Because what often happens, and would be interesting to hear your experience, but the normal setup is 1 day a week, you have like your office is full. And 3 days a week, your office is nearly empty, or it's, I don't know, 20, 30, 40% utilized. So because of that one peak, you have to keep capacity, huge capacity of your office. And what we help companies to do, we help you to make this utilization week across the week more equal. And with that, you could really downsize office by 50%. So there are a lot of optimization potential that we deliver, and surely for most clients, it's very important. And that's maybe on the next pages, we'll just show a few views, what we do and how we help our clients. And it's about really how people plan their week, how they book assets, how team leaders or admins could bring teams together on specific days and make them sit in the office together and collaborate. And then we help you also to implement this rule. So if you in the company have a rule, well, we expect our employees to be 2 days a week in the office. Then you could you could input it in Yoffix, and the system will really track it, monitor it, and you'll get reporting. Well, at what extent this rule is being implemented or not. And well, we'll help you to manage attendance and optimize office use with data. So that's what we're doing right now. And here just a few screenshots from the tool. Maybe it's I don't want to go too much in detail, but it's really about organizing groups, organizing people, making it very convenient for admins or for team leads so that you don't have to manage it manually, but just you could set it up easily. Let's go ahead. Right, it's about really how people plan their week, and we had like this interface. We optimized it so many times because it was important really that people in the same step, as they plan their week, they see at the same step what are the plans of their colleagues. So when should I come to the office? And that's the most crucial decision. You have to coordinate with your family plans, with other things. And the question is, well, at what day should I be in the office? When do I have meetings? When there are more people in the office, or when office is maybe not too crowded, right? Right. What also Yoffix is different from many tools because we pay a lot of attention to design and UX, and that's what a lot of clients of Yoffix also like about us. So with Yoffix, we provide you floor plans for your tool so that it looks really nice. And with Yoffix, we provide you interfaces really that people could book any assets, they could filter desks by attributes. You could book also and find a meeting room which would be convenient for you, or just easily check where your colleagues are sitting. So all that is in the tool, but you could also put it on a screen at your reception so that everyone who is coming to your office could immediately see, okay, that is actually the desk I would like to book, or this way I can find my colleagues, right? Right, it's it's a funny topic. Well, funny and interesting. It's meeting rooms because as we started, we thought, well, meeting rooms is so old. It's everything should be solved, all the issues around it. But no, because well, you could book, and most people book meeting rooms over Outlook. That's fine. But how to get really data about your meeting rooms, how to make sure that people could filter meeting rooms, how to make sure that you really know how to optimize and how many meeting rooms you need. And that is very expensive question because, well, to fit out meeting room, it costs really quite a lot. And we provide you data to make this decision. So even if you manage your meeting rooms in Outlook, it's worthwhile having Yoffix as a backbone to provide you analytics about the use of your meeting rooms, be it across the week, during the day, and all that should fully integrate also in Microsoft Teams. Let's go ahead. Okay, we're still, yeah, it's really surprising. Maybe it's because of time or beginning of September that is we had this time really not so many participants. Okay, yeah, just continuing the topic about data. So this is a kind of dashboard that we provide, right? So it's not only about desks and rooms, it's also about attendance. It's also about how people are using Yoffix. And next topic we will onboard beginning of next year. It's topic about sustainability. So also to understand how sustainable is your office, what is your energy consumption? And that's a crucial topic because in hybrid setup, you could also optimize and sustainability of your office. You could say, well, on Fridays, there are so few people in the office, we will decrease heating in several floors and we'll concentrate all employees who will come to the office in one floor so that we're sitting together, and also we decrease our energy consumption. So ESG will become a very important part of Yoffix already beginning of next year. Right, so that's maybe general overview. So it's not all about desk booking. It's really about how you organize your people, how you enhance collaboration, how you make your office really offer best flexible workplace experience, and how you optimize it in terms of cost, in terms of time spent, so that new work happens really and satisfies both your company and your employees. So we help you to find the right balance and to be productive in this new setup, right? So that's probably what we wanted to discuss. And since we're has such a small group today, I think it could be also a great opportunity just to maybe to speak about your experience and how your company is doing it. So I see that it's also well, film television industry, right? And maybe if you could share some insights how you manage this topic. Do you have some specific questions or issues that you would like maybe to discuss? We would be more than happy to jump into it. Okay, so more to know how to bring people back, but still have remote work too, or our office very empty. Good. That's very practical topic, and that's indeed uh, it's not a trivial task because it's always a question: what is the reason? So, what do you want to achieve, right? And it should also for employees, there should be always, well, you want to keep your best people, right? And that's why it's so important to give people a reason why they should be back in the office. And I could just show you how we do it in a tool. And maybe, Meryl, I would show then, I would share my screen and just show how we do it in Yoffix and which tools we offer to bring people back, right? So what is important is, as I said, important, well, first maybe to set up some rules. And with Yoffix, you could easily do it because you could set up attendance rules on team level. So you could say, well, for our team, I know, automation, we have following setup. We agree we want to be minimum 2 days a week in the office, right? So you set up already some minimum office day, and you explain and communicate it properly within a company, saying we want to do, or we want to be in the office X day a week for a good reason, because we believe that that is good for creativity, productivity, spirit, whatsoever. And then you could also say, well, we should, for each team, we should have one anchor day, one office day. So we could say, well, one team will come on Monday and maybe another team will be on Tuesday, so that you have some base load in your office, right? And you could easily do it for each team, you save it, and then people will know already what is their typical office day. And you will see also in analytics, you will see which team are above or below their goals. So it would be also important. You could also track it in your reporting. And what you could also implement with us, you could implement some push-up notifications. So for example, if there are some teams that are below their goals, there could be a notification to the team leader, hey, your team is, instead of 3 days a week in the office, they're only like 1 day per week in the office. Could you please take care that you have more office days? So you could implement it in the system so that the system helps you to motivate people to come to the office. Well, another thing what you could do, so first, again, transparency creates demand for more office, because if I know that more colleagues will be in the office, I'm more motivated to come to the office. And that's what Yoffix does with ease. So we could see, okay, well, today, for example, Friday, if I would have come to the office, so I would see following 8 people from my team, 8 of my teammates. And I could see who of them or who from other departments will be in the office. I could also define some favorite colleagues, so not necessarily colleagues from my team, but maybe colleagues from different departments, but whom I want to see, right? So it's about socializing and knowing who is coming, because sometimes I drive to the city because I want to go lunch with someone, right? And it's the same thing. It gives you social opportunities in the office. So transparency, that's already which creates pull effect, right? So it motivates people to come to the office, seeing that some other people are there. And team office days, they create some basic utilizations that, already there is someone from team A will be in the office. So it makes sense also for me to come and meet them. So that's how different things play together. Then what you could also do, for example, as a team manager, let's say, well, on Tuesday, I would say I want really to organize my team. So far I thought I will stay at home, but I want to come to the office. That's why I want to create a team event next Tuesday in the office. And I would call it Office Day Yoffix. I would invite a few people from my team. And so clicking some of them, we can also invite Meryl to join us. Then I want them to sit together. If they come to the office, I don't want them to sit on different floors because they will not see each other. So I select the same working zone, and I would make it repeatable events. So every week on Tuesday, my team, well, let's say for the first half of the day, will come to the office for joint work. And with that, I created an event. My colleagues from my team will get an invitation to join me in the office, so they know they will be not alone. It's not only because I'm angry team manager and I want them to be in the office. No, we want to work together. We want to spend some time together. And that's how you can easily motivate employees to come to the office, right? So again, it's about people attract people. And that's really, it's not about fruits in your office. It's not about, well, it's good to have some lunches or some free coffee, whatsoever, but people attract people, and that's how it works. that's one thing. Another thing is about creating events. So you could also create events saying, hey, we have next Friday, we have free breakfast in the office, right? And then people could register, also with help of Yoffix. That's what we're implementing right now. And you could create different events. So it could be language course, it could be yoga class, it could be some, I don't know, some interesting speaker coming to the office. So that's also create pull effect. There are interesting things happening in the office and other people are coming there, right? So that's what we learned. Well, key takeaway, people attract people. And to do that, to enable that, create transparency, create team events, and communicate with people that there is some, for good reasons, there is some minimum attendance your company is expecting and that you're tracking it, right? And with Yoffix, you could easily do it. So you could track it in the tool. You could implement check-ins so that employees have to check in the office so that you ensure discipline. And slowly, it's about, as always, we are social animals, right? It's about creating some standard behavior, right? And if people know, yes, okay, we have 2 days a week, our team office, days, it's fine. This way I'm going to the office. And then I see, well, there is also like on Fridays, there are some interesting things, or there is, I don't know, great lunch opportunity. Okay, I'll also do that. So that's what we recommend. We don't believe a lot in pushing people into the office full stop 100%. I think people will miss a lot from their home office, and they don't understand it. Why should they do it, right? So it should be very well argued, right, and well balanced. And we provide you, if you want, a system with which you could easily manage it. So that would be, I hope, not too long question, but it is a real problem how to get people back to the office. And I think it's about really different setups, right? So also we as a company, there are some people who don't come, like Meryl, to the office while she's somewhere else, but that is fine. We're happy that she's with us, right? And there are some other people from, I don't know, sales team. We want them to work several days a week in the office together because it's important, right? So it's about differentiated approach, and it's about setting some rules, enabling people working together, and really about, well, analyzing how does it go, what is working, what is not working well. And at the end of the day, well, I saw that, I don't know how many people you have, but I saw on LinkedIn that it's like several hundred or 100 people, right? So, and I could imagine how expensive the office in Montreal is for 150 people, right? Or uh, in Piedmont, yeah. So it's also the question, well, how much money could you save if you downsize your office, and what could you do with that money, for example, to help your employees to give some goodies back to your people, right? So we advise people, don't stick to your office. People will not come back 100% to the office, right? It's a illusion. You should find the right setup for your company, saying, okay, what is realistic? What do we want to have? What do we want to enable? For that, we need office space, which is maybe 30% smaller, maybe differently structured. And then, well, again, so I assume like per person, it's $200-300 per month, right? So if you say, well, you optimize for 50 employees, you optimize office space, it's like 10K, right? And for 10K, maybe you should just invest in good lunches, right? Or in some breakfast or whatever, or in some yoga teacher coming to the office once a week. So it's about really setting up new priorities and balancing things, and not trying to go back to what we had like 5 years ago and saying we want everyone to be back in the office. I think it's about, well, what is really the reasonable setup and how to find compromises in this new work environment, right? So I hope if you could reply on that. Yeah, 150 years. That's what I saw on LinkedIn. So that's what I would advise you. And from our perspective, again, so we are pushing now into North America. We saw that we go over French corner, and we are very bullish to develop our business in North America. And if you would like, we could offer you some free trial to test Yoffix 1 or 2 months, just to try things out. And we could share also our experience. So we could share our experience how to organize things and maybe how to communicate things also to organization, right? And important thing is we help you to save money and to make employees happy, because we know what you could save per month in the office. We know what employees like, and our platform could just support you in that. So that's maybe from my part. And what we could do, I think we have only your private email from LinkedIn, but we could share with you some materials from Yoffix, some webinar, some tutorials, and think about it. If you say, well, it might be something interesting to test in your company and to get data and to get feedback of people, we would be happy to do it as a joint project. So, yeah, well, and again, it's we had webinars with 100 people. Actually, it's also great to have this one-to-one communication. So, I hope that it was also interesting for you. If you don't have any further questions, I think we would make a cut here. But let me know. Is there any other things that might be interesting for you at that moment? Okay. Cool. Well, I'm happy that we had this call today. I wish you, well, nice Friday and nice weekend. And we'll just follow up if it's okay. We'll just send you an email with some materials in the Yoffix with a few links, and think about it. And if that might be interesting, just contact me or Meryl, and we'll be happy to set up a free trial account for you, and so that you could try Yoffix out. Okay. Cool. Great. So with that, I would say it was a small but a nice webinar, and I hope we catch up again. Thanks a lot, and take care, Meryl. Thank you also.
Thank you very much, Martha. Thank you, Nikolai.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.